People all around you, let your voice ring out. When I'm dancing, I'm free, I'm free, I'm free. When I'm dancing,
I'm trying.
as we rise to shine in the morning, as we rise to shine in the morning.
Well, good morning, folks. For those of us who are visiting us for the first time, thank you very much. For those who are coming back, we appreciate that. For those who've been following us, we have something new. And this is a good thing. It's funny. The whole premise of this is that Lizzy is a right brain sensation, basically, of wellness, mindfulness, of yoga. I'm the left brain kind of guy, and I'm pretty proud about that. And so we don't think the same, we don't connect the same. And I'm trying to work out my differences, my puzzlement through her philosophy of we can make you not only more successful, but also healthier while you're getting there and more satisfied while getting there, which makes logical sense to me. But how to do it makes no sense. So, anyway, the music, which is okay, I'm not knocking it, it's Lizzy, but that's who Lizzy is. And so I'm struggling with it like I do everything else on this program because I'm not the dancer kind of gyrating kind of persona. But it was her suggestion. She does well with it on her program. So it's now going to be a part of our environment. And folks, I'm laughing, by the way. The theme today is the concept of overthinking. Does it get in your way more often than not? And particularly with the holiday period being the moment for it to happen. Commercial break, please remember to share us with your friends. We would really love to have your comments. If you are with LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube, you have to, of course, sign in to either the three or your Google account to leave comments. If you're seeing us on the replay, we do audit comments, so we will get back to you in that manner. If you have any specific questions, ask Lizzy or myself in the attached bio below in terms of how to reach out to us. So the concept, so we do a theme. And this is our anniversary month. We debated anniversary day, 50th week, versus anniversary year, 52 weeks. And you could argue overthinking. Should we do it this way, that way? Well, we yielded on the issue of time frame and let's focus on the exact year, but they're trying to be Thanksgiving, so it didn't matter anyway because we weren't going to meet. If I'm pushing the concept, that's what we're talking about here. So what we're doing now, taking advantage of our year, certainly going into the new year of resolutions, of reflection for this moment. So we're making December the date not relevant. We're making the month relevant. We're making our time we spent together relevant, and how, despite our differences, or because of our differences, we're growing as an entity. And we're very pleased about that. So today's topic is, again, the concept of holiday thinking. Does it really weigh you down? Now, of course, I have a response to that. And I am so pleased when she presents her topics. We don't rehearse this, by the way. We do agree on topic. We'll be doing micro series as part of our new format with other things coming. So my premise is maybe others are just underthinking. And somebody made a response to that in support of moi a few days ago. I want to thank that person again for that. I'm going to give you an example. My wife, she loves to bake. I call her really an artisan in all sincerity of what she does. So her favorite thing is chocolate cake with chocolate icing. And she does maybe different types of fillings. And she'll bring me, and she does this for her coworkers, for holidays, for their birthdays, whatever it may be. And I've always gotten rave reviews back from her entourage. When we go to a mutual event, same thing. I love her eating, her baking the cake and the flavor of it. Nicely done. But she'll call me in from very important things that I'm doing. And maybe I'm doing a video game. I'm about to win and save the earth from zombies from abroad syndrome. And she's like, you must come look at this. And she asked me, "Is the icing on the cake even?" As she rotates the table. I says, "Look, turn the light down if you're concerned about that. In under 2 minutes, nobody will know the difference because the cake will be gone." So no, no, no. I'm serious about. She says, "I'm serious about this." So is she overthinking that icing, or am I underthinking the purpose or the value of the icing? Because it's going to be eaten in 2 minutes or less. So anyway, somehow Lizzie's going to straighten this out. So I'm
I'm
sitting back.
no, I think that's such a great example because there is that I know there's that fine line between between make really caring about what you're offering and doing and serving and perfectionism. And
See,
when you
folks, she's already fudging the topic. So I'm gonna listen though, see where she goes on this.
good there, good there. But no, that's the thing. Overthinking can tend to lead to perfectionism, which is when we get stuck in that cycle of oh my god, and then they start moving the icing on is this side, and by the end of it, it's the icing's all off the cake because you've done it so many times. So you can get into a an issue with it if you start to go from overthinking into perfectionism. And I think during the holidays people are so hard on themselves because they want everything to be quote perfect, and I think it's really important to give yourself a break, and like you said, it's going to be eaten either way, and and just go be kind to yourself, be easy on yourself, because we tend to we're bombarded everywhere we go with the commercials of the perfect house, the perfect everything, and it's like that's not reality.
Rob,
Families are messy, you know. Holidays are messy. There's the good, there's the joy, there's the stress, and everything in between. They can be both things.
well, you say it's not reality, but I have an example for that.
Okay.
We're about to go out. Maybe it's a nice event. We take our time to dress in our courting style. I rephrase that in her word. I always underdress. I think she's overthinking on that. And then during the course of getting together, before we go out, she'll bring me into again the room and ask, "Are my eyebrows even?" Eyebrows even? What's that about? I mean, I don't understand that. So once again, it's just important
I,
to her, I guess. But what?
I can relate. I mean, like I've said before, I am a recovering perfectionist, recovering overthinker, and so I get it. That tendency to want everything to be perfect and even and in the right places. So I think she might have some tendency to perfectionism, which there is no perfect. That's the thing. There.
Well,
Yeah.
excuse me. Sorry. No, I'm not really sorry to interrupt, but I do know she has a tendency to perfectionism because she chose me. So that was very clear from the moment that thing happened in her life. So that part I get, but she seems to be happy with it.
Oh, that is perfect. That's a good answer there, Joe. I love it. And it makes me laugh. So, again, engage in things during the holidays that make you laugh. Laughter is the best way to get out of overthinking. So, thank you for that, Joe.
I'm doing the best I can here, folks, just to hang in there. So I guess the question comes down. So we may or may not agree on what's overthinking, underthinking. I can understand where underthinking gets in the way, but maybe underthinking also gets in the way, perhaps. That of rice. Here's a good example. I cook by the minute. You pour the rice in, 2 cups of water for every cup of rice. Come to boil, you can either do the rice before boiling or after boiling. That's on whatever the instructions say. 20 minutes, take it off, set 5 minutes, eat it. My wife grew up in an environment where you put 2 little things of rice in 10 gallons of water. The water goes away, or you pour the water off, and I'm not knocking it. It is a cultural thing, and it's done well. So it doesn't matter what time of cooking you do with it. You decide, well, I guess it's cooked long enough. I'll pour the water off and let's eat. So the challenge here is how does one make so in either instance, it serves its purpose. So how does one in a mindful state decide whether it's too much or too little? Is there some little key factors one might use in that awareness zone that you talk about?
I mean, so again, it's knowing yourself, staying true to yourself. And if you're somebody who, but you have told me before, I mean, I think it's important to plan ahead so that you're not in that stressful point where if people are coming over and you haven't put the water on for boil yet. So planning ahead and scheduling what you need to do on that day is a way to avoid getting caught in that stress loop and turning into a frenzy. So I think it's important to really figure out what it is you need to do, which hour, what you want to get this done, when you want to get this done. I do that for Thanksgiving. I have like everything written down, and I'll
Whoa, but isn't that overthinking though? That sounds like it could sound like organization, but
or yeah, but again, plan tomorrow, today, every day. I think and people think that that's overthinking,
rule
but
me out already.
it actually gives me I literally have on my schedule: drink 8 ounces of water, go
Hmm.
for a walk, and it's built into my schedule, so I just can see that. I'm like, oh, okay, I gotta go get a glass of water.
You
So it
see where we're
makes
going on this, folks.
life easier, and I also just think it's really important that people know, and I say to myself that it's okay to turn things down. If you don't want to, don't over oblige, get over obligated, because you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to, again, staying true to yourself, and it's doing enough that brings you joy and not too much that brings you stress, and don't overthink if you with guilt if you decide to say no to something. It's okay, it's all right.
That part I get. The many of us are afraid to say no because I guess from my perspective, we'll hurt their feelings. They'll think less of me. I don't have their approval. I feel obligated. I guess one could have a litany of reasons why people won't say. I'll be rejected, perhaps, and I or give forward. The people, my wife, I hate to use an example. She always gives forward, and she really goes out of her way to do nice. She lives the golden rule more than I think most people I've met. So she'll try to do things for people. She tries to be helpful. It's in her nature to the point where I've had to step in on her behalf. In fact, I think one of the reasons why she chose to marry me was that she had an exam coming up for her nursing degree, major sequence of exams. And a friend of hers wanted my wife to take, not quite wife then, to take her shopping. But Leonie had lots of homework to do that weekend to prepare for the exams. And she couldn't say no to the lady. She could not say no, even though she was concerned about being able to pass her test. So what I did is I stepped in for her. The lady, I couldn't convince my wife not to do it because her mindset is what it was. So I said, look, to my wife, I will go on your behalf and take the lady shopping. The lady's eyes about popped open. She'd never met me before. She says, I'm here on behalf of my wife. She has these exams because the lady would not let her off the hook. So I'm here to take you shopping. So at what point was it being underthought? Or was she underthinking the lady? Was I overthinking? My wife is clearly in the zone I didn't agree with. So how does one develop an awareness and rheostat to tone things down or up appropriately?
I mean, I think that you did a really nice move in there, and I think that's part of being, a partner but for her, I think it's knowing her limits and knowing how to prioritize those things, and can't be all things to all people. I mean, for example, like one of the things I do for people is I make soup for people when they're sick, and I drive it around. I went to Yonkers on Sunday. I made this.
I got a slight cough myself right now. I'll send you my address just after this is over. Thanks for volunteering.
Yes, I believe me. I've been all over the tri-state area over the last year. And my friend was over on Saturday. She's like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "This is the way I show love. It makes me feel good." I drove to Yonkers. I got to see this person, and it's something I do that I makes me feel good. And other things. My husband's visiting a family on Friday who lost somebody, and it's just too tight in my schedule. So he's going to represent us. So we do things like that for each other, and that's a beautiful thing. So, let your partner help you if you have one, again, and know your limits, and don't be afraid of saying no. Again, if you're at a gathering, chances are people won't really even notice. And even though that might sound mean,
that's me. Nobody ever misses me at an event.
I find that very freeing, not sad. I'm like, okay, the show will go on, and and you'll make up for it another time, so you can also see your family and friends, not during the holidays.
Good. I
And
hear that. Where I have the challenge with Lizzy getting on board is that she always makes it sound like, again, turning on a light switch. Oh, what you have to do is understand it's too much, it's too stressful, and just act on that. I'm kind of slow, maybe, and I would like to believe that there's some little tripwire in you. Like they say, if a train is barreling down a railroad track or the elevated train or whatnot, there's little electronic things that you're going too fast, and it will deliberately slow you down. So, as a little tool one could have in their head or their mindset or their psyche that says, "Oh, warning, warning! I need to engage more effectively here."
I think try to keep to your routine as best as possible during the holidays. Get as much rest as you need. Get extra rest, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
And again, plan tomorrow today. Don't plan what you need to do so that you avoid, if you need to travel, make sure you plan the travel time in there so that there's going to be everyone else in the world traveling. So just being mindful of what your needs are, prioritizing your own well-being
Mm-hmm.
first, again, putting the oxygen mask on first, and make things as easy as possible for yourself.
Okay. Well, thank you very much. Boy, the timing was very good on that in terms of closing this out. I want to thank you guys, or Lizzy, for your comments. I'm going to ask Lizzy to finish this out, but connect with us, ask questions, share us. Your thoughts, Lizzy, as you take us out, I guess, on music, yes?
Again, engage in things that make you laugh, that make you dance, and it's one of the surest ways to stop an overthinking brain is to laugh, to move your body, and divert that overthinking.
Sounds good. Thank you
All
very
right,
much. See you
be
next
well,
time.
everybody.